Hi, and happy holidays to all of you. Today I've been working on this, just a piece of fabric here. My daughter wanted some placemats and a table runner, and I'm trying to get it done before Christmas. A couple of days ago, I got it loaded. I quilted the top row. This is the pattern that I'm using right here, using IQ today. I have one more partial row to finish down here and I'm done. When I started the quilt, I had a little trouble with thread breaking when I was basting the top down. And it seemed to work its way out and I didn't have any trouble quilting the first row. Today, when I started, I quilted the second row, no problem. At the very end of the second row, my bobbin ran out. Now I'm using a glide thread, which you can see back there, and I'm using the Magna Glide bobbins. So this is Glide on here, the same gray color as the thread that I'm using. When I started the second row, when I put my new bobbin in, I tested my tension and right away started getting thread breaking. It was breaking. And finally, I thought I was okay. I started quilting. It quilted a couple of inches and the thread broke. Not the top thread, but the bobbin thread. So what would you say? What would you think the issue was? Well, there's lots of things to look at, and I've looked at all of them. I could not see anything wrong with my needle, any of these things. However, it's important to not discount anything, but to check absolutely everything. So one of the first things that I did, I took a look at the bobbin to see, is there a problem with the bobbin? And what was happening was, all of a sudden, it would catch. You could see it catch. And inside what was happening, the thread was coming off and wrapping around the post as the bobbin continued to spin just a little bit, and then it would break the thread. This happened over and over again. I tried numerous times here, probably 7 or 8 times, and it would go just little ways and break, little ways and break. During those times, I tried different things. I thought, well, it's got to be the needle. There's got to be a catch on the needle. So I took the needle out, replaced the needle. Same thing happened. Stitched some more. Well, after that, I took the throat plate out, made sure it was really super clean underneath, and checked the throat plate. No needle pricks, no rough areas, no nothing on the throat plate. Absolutely nothing was a problem on the throat plate. Checking my guides here, no problems with this. And this machine is fairly new, so there's no worn parts on any of the thread path here. So nothing to make a catch on any of these things. And I would suggest, you're going to use, when you're checking your tension, to make sure that you're using on your machine the same setting that you're going to be using when you're quilting. That's important. So I kept checking everything that I could think of. I went through the thread path, was it caught on the thread path? I got done with absolutely everything, checking everything, except the one thing at the back, which was the cone of thread. And the thread path is fine, no issue with that. Now, if you know anything about me, you know that I recommend putting a thread net like this on glide thread or any of the trilobal polyester threads, because they have a tendency to puddle down when you stop. Well, apparently this was the issue. Somewhere in this net, and I don't know where, I couldn't see it, but somewhere in this net, oops, I see a little spot right there. Okay, that might be it. There's a little cut spot right there. Somewhere, and this is probably it, I'm just finding it now, the thread was catching. It would pull enough off the cone and then catch, and then it would hold it and break the bobbin thread. So the point of all of this is, don't discount anything, absolutely anything, when you're working with an issue like this, you have to go through all of the steps, checking absolutely everything from the very beginning of the thread path at the back of the machine, through all of the guides, through absolutely everything, the needle, the throat plate, underneath in the bobbin area, to find out where the issue is. Now, this took me about 45 minutes before the only thing left for me to look at was the cone of thread. I pulled the thread out of the top of it. It didn't seem to catch, but apparently something was happening. So I took this off of the cone. I made sure that my batting in the back, shepherd's hook back there, was pressed down enough so that I didn't get any slack in my thread here that would affect my tension. And it will puddle now down around the cone just slightly, but not enough to make any difference. As soon as I made that last change and took this thread net off that cone and started stitching, I did not have one issue the rest of the way across this row. So apparently this was it. And now, as I mentioned just a second ago, looking at this, apparently there's a little cut spot right there. I can see it. Right here where my thumb is, there's a little cut spot in that thread net, and apparently the thread was catching every time on that. Now, why this other row up here worked perfectly and didn't catch, I have no idea. And obviously just changing my bobbin down here really was not the factor in all of this. All of a sudden it started catching, on this. So always look at absolutely everything when you're having an issue. So that's my tip for today. I hope you're having a really good holiday season. Wish all of you the merriest of Christmas, the happiest of holidays, and the very best in 2025.